So months ago, I made a game out of toilet paper with my friend. HeylloPotato. So the goal of this game was to make a game with Unity, have the art be made out of toilet paper, and do all of it in 12 hours. So first we had to decide on a game idea, so we skipped that step and went right into making the game. My friend, who you might know from the cooking streams as Young Gordon Ramsay, who I'll be calling Friend, abandoned me to go work on his part of the game, the art, aka putting toilet paper together until it looks good. On the other hand, I just sat there confused. I didn't know what to do as we didn't have a plan. All I knew is we were going to make something 2D with a side view, as that's what we always do. With that in mind, I went ahead and started making player movement. While I was working on the movement, Friend came back and showed me his progress. I was about to ask him what to do, but then he left me again. I was alone not knowing what to do, like the lone potato left in the bag. Anyway, so let's take a little peek into the art side, also known as the most important side of the game. Friend was working on the main character. His process for the character was as follows: stuffing toilet paper and tape onto a little wire puppet. After getting the character ready, he had to get it ready for animating. His animation process went a little like this: take a picture of the puppet, put it in his default drawing program Fire Alpaca, gently erase everything besides the character, forcefully rip the limbs off of the character, then smoothly and strategically put them together in a different position multiple times till an animation is formed. With the character animations done, I could add them into the game. By the time we finished, the character was near the middle of the afternoon, so we were kinda starting to feel the pressure. After that, we started the process of taking pictures of random pieces of toilet paper. We did that for a while, and then my friend stopped and took a step back from his workspace to realize that it was entirely covered in toilet paper. Like Friend, let's take a step back for a second. At this point, we finally decided on an idea for the game. The idea was just a simple game about slashing down enemy tanks and collecting toilet paper. So the enemy was one of the first things we added after the player. Now this tank is interesting. For the base of the tank, Friend used a box and put toilet paper around it to make it look like, well, a base of a tank. Now the interesting part was the cannon on the tank. For this, Friend slapped the cardboard from the middle of the toilet paper on it. That was the art part of the tank. For the boring coding part of the tank, I just kept it simple with left and right movement and shooting in one straight line because of the time limit. At this point, we started working on map ideas. We were just going to have a cave and a mountain, and unfortunately, because of lack of time, we cut it down to just the mountain, and made it very linear for ease of creation. The first thing we added to the map were some trees. The way Friend made trees was taking tiny little sticks that looked sorta like trees, crumbling toilet paper up and sticking it on them for leaves. Next thing was the mountains. All Friend did was cut off part of the top of the toilet paper to resemble the shape of a mountain. For the background, we used 2 squares long of toilet paper, and for the ground, we just used a slimmer background. I implemented all the backgrounds in trees and then got right into world building. At this point, we were starting to near the last 2 hours and decided it was time to eat. So Friend left me for half that like he normally does. Anyway, I had my plans and I just had to get working. So things were going well, and we were getting close to end with good progress until the last hour. The first thing I got done is the UI. For the player's health bar, Friend took a picture of toilet paper rolled out. The rolled out part was going to be the health bar, with the main roll being decoration. Basically, when there's no toilet paper rolled out, you die. But with how quick you go to the death screen, you don't see the roll of the toilet paper without any of it rolled out. So the extra work I put in making it so it's 2 separate pieces went to waste. But oh well, for the toilet paper counter, I just used text that starts at 0 and goes up when you pick them up. Super simple. I couldn't waste any time at all. Lastly, we had to do the menus. I began by doing the start menu first. It went well until the quit button broke. I was planning to make it a web game, so I scratched it. So no, you can't quit. But you won't want to quit the game anyway, so it's all good. I did add a bit of decoration that Friend made of the start menu to make it look a little bit better. Like toilet paper background and the character. Next was the win screen, for all the people that can beat the game. I just placed the rolls you collected to win and had it say you collected the rolls. And you can restart the game too. It was a basic win screen. There was a problem though. I had to beat the game to test it, and I did something at the end of the game that, at this moment, I regret. I have it so you need to fight 3 tanks to get to the last one, and it took so long to beat, just to test the win screen. Now, you might be wondering why I just didn't disable the enemies, and to that, I say, I don't know. I don't make good decisions, but I finally beat the game and the win screen worked. The last menu I needed to make was the death screen, which was definitely the easiest to test minus the start screen. For this, Friend told me to put the text, "Here's a flower for your loss." And so we put a tree as decoration for the death screen, and a restart button. Now, with 5 minutes left, I had to get the button on the death screen to work because for some reason it didn't work. after I copy and pasted it from a different button. After that, I had a test to make sure the entire game works. Luckily, I'm good at the game and it was quick to test since it only took a couple tries to beat it. We also plopped some music in the game that friend made, and at that point it was done. The make a game in 12 hours with the art having to be made out of toilet paper challenge was finally complete. At some point, I forgot when, but we tried adding in grass that was animated. They tried to make it so it moves when you walk over it, but I have no idea how to do that, so we scratched that idea too. Also, if you're wondering if you could play the game, you can find the link to download it in the description. I wanted it to be able to be played on the actual website, but for some reason it just didn't want to cooperate. But if you really want to play it, you can download it and try it out. Finally, you are definitely wondering, was it worth it spending an entire day making a game out of toilet paper? To that I say absolutely. And we're thinking about making another, but with a different material next time.